Alright guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be going over the trades I took. So I took some in the Asia session, and then I took some in New York. I made a total of about 3.5k. So I'm just going to be going over how I managed my risk, what I was looking for these types of entries, and how I actually executed. So without further ado, let's just hop right into this. So let's just start right to the beginning of Asia. So we'll go right around here. So what did I want to see in order for me to verify that I wanted to actually take a short? So we respected this 15-minute gap here. As you can see, we got displacement lower. I wanted to see us displace out of this 5-minute. We created an SMT, a bearish SMT at the stop. I wanted to see some sort of move back inside of this range here in order for me to actually execute a trade. Because if I were to short once this candle closed, the risk to reward would not be good. So I wanted to see some sort of displacement move back inside of potentially OTE of this range, and then we get the actual move targeting the sell side level. So I stayed patient here, and then once we had this tap inside of OTE, I was waiting for some sort of sign that price actually did want to move lower. So I moved into the 30-second. Once we had this displacement candle as well, I jumped in shorts here. Stop at the protected SMT high, I was targeting a little bit lower for this new week opening gap, but this was going to be my break-even point here. So I was just very patient, and I was very aware we could reject off of this low. I think I managed to close my position off of like this level here. Let's see. I think I closed my position here. So this is around 22 points. And then second trade. So we managed to catch 22 points here. And then second trade, what did I want to see after having the second trade? So we have a change in the state. And why was I more confident in this trade right here rather than this trade actually having displacement? Is because we had an SMT at the highs. ES was lacking bullishness, so NQ took the high. We also had a turtle soup model. With that, we took some sort of internal buy side. This would be our turtle soup. And then once we get this close on this 1-minute candle, this was our change in the state. And I waited for a retest back inside of this change in the state. Once I got this retest here, I had the perfect position, stop at this high. And then I was targeting. Okay, where was I targeting? So ideas of targets and draws on liquidity, new week opening gap. But I didn't want to be in a trade if it did manage to take that long to reach the new week opening gap. So I drew out my standard deviation level, and it aligned with a 1 hour and a 15-minute gap. So my full TP was at this negative 2.5 level. Why this negative 2.5 level? Because on the higher time frame, I drew out my standard deviation down to here. And why was I confident in this negative 2.5 to being hit? Is because we see inside of this range, this negative 2, it lines up. We have this miniature. It basically lines up with each other on higher time frame and lower time frame standard deviation. So I was fairly confident in this negative 2 getting hit. So after we retest this change in state, I'm targeting this negative 2 level. We begin to actually start pushing lower here. We pushed lower. One problem I didn't scale out here after we hit this negative 2, because this could be a deep rejection spot after we hit this negative 2 level. So I was wanting to see this negative 2.5 get hit. It didn't get hit. I think I got stopped out trailing right here. So we were about 10 points off from hitting full TP. This was honestly a clean trade, clean analysis. Turtle soup, SMT at the highs, change in state, retest change in state, and then we continue to move lower. So I then was kind of done, but then I saw us, and I saw the market pulling back, and I'm still bearish going into this. So I drew out the range here again. I saw OTE. I wanted to see if we got some sort of rejection off of this level. So I looked for a displacement candle. Once we got this candle here, this displacement, 1 minute inverse, I zoomed into the 30-second just for a cleaner entry. Once we got this 30-second inversion, here, I then put a short position back here, targeting these negative 2.5 level. Stop at the recent high, and then price began just to kind of chop around, and then I got stopped. So this was a 10-point stop. So this trade is really what got me there, because I went full position into here. Didn't scale in properly. I should have probably went normal size. I just kind of went lower risk after having this win, so it's honestly fine. Still got a 10 points off of this, and then I lost 10 here. And then so let's just hop into New York Open here. So going into New York Open, what was I looking for in order for me to actually take a long, and why was I confident in taking these longs? So you can see previously we have all these relative equal highs up here. Well, we were 6 points off from hitting 30K, and we then left relative equal highs, and this was a now all-time high. I want to see this drawn liquidity be the drawn liquidity for the morning. So we dumped, stopping out all the people that tried to pre-fire longs here. And what did I look for in order for me to actually take a trade? So we created a bullish SMT here. We tapped into a 1 hour gap, and we respected it. As you can see, we come down here, tap into this 1 hour gap. Now we start seeing displacement up. I needed to see some sort of inversion as we got on this 1 minute here. Once we got this 1 minute inversion, we had a 30-second change in state as well. I could have took my entry there off of this 30-second change in the state. I just didn't know if we wanted to dig a little bit deeper. But after verifying we got this 1 minute inversion with this next candle, I entered here, stop at this low here, and then I targeted all-time highs. So after I was targeting all-time highs, I actually closed my trade up here because I didn't want to get, this was only 10 extra points. So I closed my trade here. This was about a 2.1K here on this trade. This was 108 points here. So this was honestly super clean internal to external model. We took out this internal liquidity at the ES. We had SMT, respected 1 hour bullish gap, inversion, changing the state. TP1 was here. Why was TP1 here? Is because potentially after taking some sort of high, we could reject off of this. So I took about 50% of my position here, and then the rest went to break even, and then I just let the rest go, and then I closed fully out at this high, just a little below this all-time highs here. Alrighty guys, this is the end of the video. So I'm going to be trying to get more recaps out there because people are interested in what model I trade. So if you're interested, just keep tuning into these recaps. You'll learn a lot just off of these, and these are completely free. So I'll catch you all in the next video.